Hello. So in this video, what I'm going to address is using your calculator, and specifically in this specific case is to evaluate this expression here: cosine of 56 degrees 21 minutes, cosine of 33 degrees 39 minutes, minus sine of 56 degrees 21 minutes, sine of 33 degrees 39 minutes. Now what you'll notice is the angles, there's two different angles: 56 degrees 21 minutes and then 33 degrees 39 minutes, and they're actually both used twice, and there's a reason for that. I'll address that reason at the end of the video. But if I'm going to go ahead and do this on my calculator, what I want to make sure I do is I want to make sure I'm in degree mode, and then to tell the calculator that the number I'm entering is either a degree or a minute, I'm going to use the second angle button. So let's go ahead and go through that. All right, so here's your mode. So you're going to go second mode. I'm sorry, my apologies. Just go mode to check to see that you're in degree. So there I am. If you weren't, you just come down 3 and go to the right and select it. And then the second angle button is right here, right? It's above the apps. And so the angle is the second function of the apps button. So now let's go ahead and put that in. So we're going to have cosine 56 degrees. So I'm going to tell it that it is a degree by going to the second angle function and then labeling 56 as degrees. And then 21 minutes, I'm going to do the same thing. And so what you might want to do is pull out your calculator. So I'm going to use the minutes. Pull out your calculator and follow along with me. So pause, and that way you can go ahead and do this. So now we're going to do cosine 33 degrees. And then it's 39 minutes. Cosine of, oh, nope, my bad. Hold on. Let me delete that. Oops, so you get to see that too. What is it, 39 minutes? 39 minutes. There we go. All right, so now I've done cosine of this angle times the cosine of that angle. And now what this is asking me to do is to subtract. So minus. Now I'm going to do sine of the angles. So 56 degrees and 21 minutes. Let's close that and now do sine of 33 degrees. And what is it, 39 minutes. And now let's just close that parentheses. Now, when I press enter, I should get what the calculator evaluates. And the calculator says that all of that is 0, which is actually correct. We'll see why. Now, this is where I did this problem here, right, evaluating this, using the calculator, using the angle button, right, the second angle. Now I'm going to do this. Let's say you forget, because that's where I'm at. Most of the time I forget. So what would I do is, if I didn't remember, oh, where's the angle button? What I would do is I would say cosine. Now I know this is 56 degrees, and I'm already in degree mode, so that input 56 is understood by the calculator as 56 degrees. But then what I'm going to do is change or convert the 21 minutes into decimal degrees, because remember, there's 60 minutes in 1 degree, and I only have 21, so I have less than 1 degree, so I have a decimal portion of a degree. So, but what portion? Well, 21 out of 60, okay? And then I'm just going to keep doing this. Cosine of 33 plus, in this case, 39 divided by 60. All right, and then now minus, and I'm going to do sine of those angles. Let's see, 56 and then 21, 56 degrees plus the 21 divided by 60. And finally, sine of 33 plus the 39 minutes out of the 60. And of course, I would get the same answer. It's really the same thing. I'm just not using the button, the angle button in the calculator. So those are two ways of evaluating the same thing. One is if you remember the angle button. The other one is if you don't remember the angle button. Now, I remember this is degrees. This is the symbol for minutes. Everything from here forward is not necessary at this point. I'm just showing you for seeding your subconscious, I guess, and letting you know why are they asking you to do this. They're preparing you to be able to evaluate this later on. So later on in a few chapters, we're going to be working with formulas and identities. And here's the formula. Cosine of the sum of two angles, x and y, is the same thing as cosine of the first angle, cosine of the second angle, minus sine of the first angle, sine of the second angle, right? They're exactly equivalent. That's why there's an equal sign between them. So when I wrote these angles in different colors, so if I say cosine of this first angle 56 degrees and 21 minutes plus the second angle 33 degrees and 39 minutes is equal to cosine of the first angle, cosine of the second angle, minus sine of the first angle, sine of the second angle. Well, we just did this second part here, which is the long part. What if instead we worked with this left-hand side and we said, well, really, and what I'm saying is cosine of the sum of two angles. So what is that? Well, let me add the two angles. If I add the two angles, remember 9 and 1 is 10, carry the 1. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, that's 6, right? So now I have 60 minutes. And then 6 and 3 is 9, 5 and 3 is 8. So I have 89 degrees in 60 minutes. But remember, 60 minutes is 1 degree. So really, I have 89 degrees plus another degree, or I have 90 degrees. So when I evaluate this cosine of the sum of the two angles, I'm really saying cosine of 90 degrees, right? All right, so now I have cosine of these two angles is the same thing as cosine of 90 degrees. And remember, cosine is the x-coordinate at 90 degrees on the unit circle. So here's the unit circle at 90 degrees. The coordinates are over none, up 1. So the x-coordinate is 0. Cosine of 90 is 0, and that's what we got. All right. Thanks so much for listening.